led us with great distinction, Congresswoman Barbara Lee of California.
Thank you very much. Let me thank the gentlelady for yielding, but also thank you and your staff for coordinating not only this special order, but each special order each and every Monday night or first night when we're in session. And especially tonight as we close out Black History Month, this is such an important time for this discussion. But also I want to thank you, Congresswoman Christensen, for your visionary and bold leadership as you continue to make history. Truly, you've done remarkable work here in this body. It's really especially poignant that this year during Black History Month, the Republican leadership has proposed a budget for fiscal year 2011 that will fall most heavily, mind you, on the backs of the most vulnerable in our society, African Americans, Latinos, and poor, those who have been shut out of the American dream. At a time when we should be remembering and uplifting the accomplishments and contributions of African Americans to the history, culture, civil rights, and economy of America, we are literally, during this month, debating steps that will severely undercut and undermine that legacy. We can, Mr. Speaker, cut nearly, can we, Mr. Speaker, cut nearly $750 million from the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children. That's the WIC program. While we have a record high unemployment rate throughout our country, but especially among African Americans, we can't do that. The unemployment rate among African Americans is over 15%. Many African American women rely on WIC while they seek jobs, which we're trying to hopefully create. How can we cut $317 million in funding for vital family planning health services provided through a network of clinics throughout the country that serves nearly 1 in 5 women? These programs are vital, not just in saving lives through cancer screening, HIV and STD testing and contraceptive services, but for providing a link for the many poor and low-income women in terms of their link to the public health system. Many of these women are African American women. And how can we cut nearly $1.1 billion from the Head Start program, which will effectively knock out 200,000 children from participating in this critical early education program, which helps provide health support services to prepare children for school. Many African Americans who were part of the Head Start program are now making history in our country because of this great early childhood education program. The other side has made it clear that no matter who is impacted by these cuts, women, infants, children, the working poor, people of color, African Americans, their response consists of only 3 words: so be it. So be it if 800,000 jobs are lost. So be it if people are put out on the street with no access to homeless assistance grants or temporary housing. So be it if people don't get enough nutritional support or if kids have to go hungry. So be it. That's not what the Civil Rights Movement was about. We should be working together to build up a nation instead of tear down the very programs and institutions that have contributed to our nation's growth and success. We should be working together to reduce inequality, help the unemployed, and get our economy moving again. And above all, we should be working to create jobs. That's what so many prominent African American leaders have fought for over the years, from those who are well known the world over, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., to people who are sometimes well known just in their own neighborhoods. Tonight, there's one person I want to mention who influenced my life and the direction I took, our late beloved former Congresswoman Shirley Anita Chisholm. In 1968, Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm was the first African-American woman elected to Congress, and she was a founding member of the Congressional Black Caucus. We celebrate this year 40 years of this great institution in our Congress, the conscience of the Congress. This year, actually, it's the 42nd anniversary of the election, though, of Congresswoman Chisholm, who represented her Brooklyn-based congressional district with grace and distinction for 14 years, earning a reputation as one of the House's most eloquent orators and greatest champions of human rights, social and economic justice. In 1972, Congresswoman Chisholm again made history when she became the first African American to run for the presidential nomination of a major party. That campaign captured the imagination imagination of millions and inspired countless individuals to engage in the political process for the first time. And I know for a fact that Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm paved the way for our great President Obama to be able to win the presidency 2 years ago. Congresswoman Chisholm was a catalyst for change, giving voice to the overlooked and underrepresented members of our society, people of color, women and children, the African American community. And she fought for the unemployed. She fought for those who wanted to work, for those who were seeking the American dream. And I can't help but wonder what she would say right now if she knew this was taking place. I'm sure she does know this is taking place, and I can feel her telling us that we have to fight the good fight, because her legacy is so important within the context of creating jobs that we're trying to do for our country. Later this week, I will be introducing 2 pieces of legislation to honor the work of Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm. The first would recognize and celebrate the 42nd anniversary of her election to Congress, and the second would call on the Postal Service to issue a commemorative stamp honoring the life and accomplishments of Congresswoman Chisholm. So I urge my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to support these bills. As we work to finalize funding for the 2011 fiscal year, let us remember that budgets are moral documents. And as Congresswoman Chisholm said, when morality comes up against profit, it is seldom that profit loses. So we have to stand up for morality. Reverend Jim Wallace and Sojourners, they challenged us. They asked us, what would Jesus cut? Help the poor or wasteful weapon systems at the Pentagon? They asked, ending the war in Afghanistan or programs to feed and shelter the poor? This weekend, once again, I will be participating in the Faith and Politics Civil Rights Pilgrimage. We're going to Selma, Montgomery, and Birmingham, Alabama, the epicenter of the Civil Rights Movement. We will be led by our hero, a warrior, a great civil rights leader, our colleague, Congressman John Lewis, who sacrificed so much for civil and human rights and economic justice. I participated in this pilgrimage many times, and I always feel a sense of gratitude to Congressman Lewis and to Rosa Parks and to Reverend Shutterfield and to Dr. King, to Shirley Chisholm, to all of those who fought so hard for equality and jobs and freedom. This year, however, I feel that many of these gains, mind you, many of these gains that all of our great civil rights leaders fought for are about to be eroded due to the increasing income inequality and the reckless budget cuts which will gut so many of our country's response to the civil rights movement. So as Republicans fight so hard to enact budget cuts that will destroy nearly 800,000 jobs, be assured that in honoring the legacy of our great black leaders, we will fight back. Thank you.
Thank you.